What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the weekly fragrance rotation number 18. Let's get into it. Starting off on Sunday, I went with Dior Sauvage Elixir. I don't really pull this one out too often because of the hefty price tag, but when I do, it is such a joy to wear. I always say this, but this fragrance smells like money. Off the top, you get this very warm spiciness along with some sweetness as well. But as it dries down, it kind of turns into a different fragrance. In the dry down, it's very aromatic, green, woody. So yeah, the dry down, very fresh, clean, and masculine smelling in my opinion. This stuff works perfectly year round, any situation, any occasions, it's gonna work perfectly. Performance on here is insane, 12 plus hours of performance. This is the strongest performing fragrance in my entire collection. This stuff lasts through showers, guys. So it does have the hefty price tag, but it is definitely worth it in my opinion. Huge compliment getter as well. You're gonna turn heads if you're wearing this stuff. Definitely get your nose on it. What I wore on Sunday, Dior Sauvage Elixir. What I wore on Monday is Acqua di Gio. I always love coming back to this one right here. This is the second fragrance in my entire collection. I've had this one for a while. This is a ginormous 300 milliliter size bottle, and I think I'm more than halfway done with it. This one is very fresh, citrusy, aquatic. You get some white florals, you get some woodiness in the base. Perfect for the spring and the summertime. One of the best fragrances for that time of the year, in my opinion. I get 6 to 7 hours of performance out of this stuff. Another one, huge compliment getter to this day. Came out 20 years ago, still very modern. One of the best fragrances on the market, in my opinion. I think it's a must-have in your collection. What I wore on Monday, Acqua di Gio. What I wore on Tuesday is Polo Black by Ralph Lauren. One of my favorite fragrances in my collection right here. I don't know why, it's just when I smell this, it puts me in such a good mood. This one starts off with a very tropical mango note. So you get this fruity, tropical sweetness off the top. Then as it dries down, some greens kick in, some woodiness is in the base. A killer fresh fragrance right here. Has a nice masculine edge to it as well. Another one works perfectly for the spring and the summertime. I would recommend checking this one out if you want something a little more different. I don't really have any other fragrances in my collection that smell like this right here. Performance isn't the best. I only get about 4 to 5 hours of performance, but the way it smells is so amazing. You're not going to care about the weak performance, guys. Get your nose on this one. You're not going to regret it. What I wore on Tuesday, Ralph Lauren Polo Black. What I wore on Wednesday is Calvin Klein Defy. I think it's safe to say that this is at least in the top 2 when it comes to Calvin Klein fragrances, in my opinion. This one and CK1 Shock are my favorites from the entire brand. This is a very fresh, clean, almost classy kind of a fragrance. Off the top, you get some bergamot and lavender, so it gives it almost this barbershop freshness. So it has like that traditional masculine freshness on the opening. But as it dries down, you get some vetiver and some amber, which gives it this smoky sweetness. Very nice stuff right here. Performance is solid. I get 7 to 8 hours of performance out of this stuff. You could get it in that $40 to $50 range. I do think it is worth the money at that price point. You can wear this every single day of the year if you wanted to. A really good work fragrance, in my opinion. What I wore on Wednesday, Calvin Klein Defy. What I wore on Thursday is Azzaro The Most Wanted. One of the best fall and wintertime fragrances ever made right here. Off the top, you get some cardamom, which gives it this nice spicy feel. But then as it dries down, a big dose of toffee kicks in. So it has this candy sweetness, and that combines with some woodiness. I mean, if you're looking for that one fragrance to turn heads in the fall and the wintertime, fantastic option to go with right here. Another one, smelling it, it just puts me in a good mood. It makes me think of a fun night out in some cold weather. Performance is really good as well. I get 7 to 8 hours of performance out of this stuff. What I wore on Thursday, Azzaro The Most Wanted. What I wore on Friday, Bulgari Man in Black. Haven't reached for this one in a while. Usually when I'm in the mood for the scent DNA, I reach for Spice Bomb more because Spice Bomb is a little bit more affordable. But I decided to go with this one. This one is very similar to Spice Bomb. It is a little different. You do get some booziness along with a little bit of this white floral feel as it dries down. So yeah, boozy, huge dose of spiciness with a little floral touch as it dries. Performance is solid on this one. I get 7 to 8 hours of performance. Another banger for the fall and the wintertime. This is kind of like the enthusiast Spice Bomb, in my opinion. Has a little more depth, a little more going on. What I wore on Friday, Bulgari Man in Black. What I wore on Saturday, Carolina Herrera Bad Boy Cobalt. My favorite blue fragrance in my collection. I'm going to say that every single time I mention this. Killer stuff right here. Very fresh, slightly spicy in the opening. Has a very interesting and unique note of plum in the mid, which really makes this stuff smell incredible. The plum really gives it a unique fruity sweetness. And then as it dries down, you get a big dose of woods. Huge compliment getter right here. You're gonna turn heads if you're wearing this. Performance is very good as well. 10 hours of performance out of this stuff. This one works perfectly year-round. Any situations, any occasions. You're most likely going to be the best smelling person wherever you are if you're wearing this stuff right here. Fantastic fragrance. What I wore on Saturday, Carolina Herrera Bad Boy Cobalt. All right, that wraps up the weekly fragrance rotation number 18. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Just a heads up, I do have a fragrance haul coming out on Tuesday. So make sure to look out for that video coming up. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.